performance, and we're glad to be joined by the spokesperson of the National Bureau of Statistics, Mr. Fu Linghui. He will brief us on the national economic performance of August 2025, and also he will take your questions. Now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Fu Linghui. Thank you. Friends from the media, good morning. So first of all, I will brief you on some of the key indicators in August, and later I will take your questions. In August, in general, the national economic performance maintains stable and continue its growth momentum under the strong leadership of CPC Central Committee with Commerce, Xi Jinping as core, and all localities have fully exercised the decisions made by the CPC Central Committee and the State Council and pursue progress while ensuring stability. We continue to implement the new development and also speed up the building of the new development paradigm. And also we try our best to improve the domestic and international circulation, and also we are seeing that we have a very strong growth driver. And in general, the national economy has maintained stable and also ensure stability. First, industry production has been increased dramatically, and especially on the manufacturing industry and also the high tech. And for the industry, the added value above destiny size has increased by 5.2%. By categories, for the added value of the mining industry has been increased by 5.1% year over year. The manufacturing 5.1%, electricity, heat, gas, water production increased by 2.4% year over year. And for the added value of the equipment manufacturing has been increased by 8.1% year over year. Added value of the high-tech manufacturing has increased 9.1%, faster than the industry's added value above destiny size by the 2.9% and the 3.6%. By economic type, for the added value of the SOEs has increased by 5.1%, and the foreign and HK, Macau, and Taiwan investing enterprises increased by 2.8%. For the private business has been also increased by 3%. By product, for the output of the 3D printing devices, industry robots, and the NEVs also registered double-digit growth. So for the first 8 months, for the industry added value above destiny size has been increased by 6.2%. So for the PMI has been increased by 0.1% compared to the last month. And also we have very good business operation expectation index has been increased by 1%. So for the first 7 months, the total profit earned by the industry enterprises above destiny size has been down by 0.7%. And the service industry also registered good growth, especially for the modern service industry. So in August, the national index of the service production has been increased by 5.6% year over year. By different categories, and we are seeing that for the information transmission software and IT services and the financial industry also increased by 8.7%, 8%, and 11%, and also faster than the average service production index. In the first 7 months, the revenue of the service enterprises above destiny size has been increased by 7% year over year. And also for the index of business activity is 57%, up by 0.4%. For the railway transport, air transport, postal services, and the signal transmissions, entertainment industries also maintain at a very high range of the business activity index. And also we have very stable growth of the market sales, especially for the retail sales. So in August, the retail sales of consumer goods has been increased by 3.4% compared to last year. And by location of the business premises, the retail sales from the urban areas registered 3.4 trillion yuan, up by 3.2%. For the retail sales from the rural areas, registered 520 million yuan and also increased by 3.6%. By categories, for the commodity sales has been increased by 3.6% year-over-year. For the revenue from the category, for the catering sector, also increased by 1%. For the daily necessities and upgrading products, they also registered good sales. For the grain food, daily necessities, sports and recreational supplies, jewelries has increased by 7.7%, 5.8%, 16.2%. And also, we continue to see a significant effect of the policy of the trading of the consumer goods. So, for example, we have seen that for several categories, such as the furnitures, telecommunications, and also the stationeries, office supplies, also registered double-digit growth. So for the first 7 months, the total sales of the consumer goods has registered at 4.9% year-over-year growth, and also we have a 9.6% year-over-year growth for the total online sales, among which the online sales of the physical goods has been increased by 6.5%, accounting for over 60% of the total sales of the consumer goods. And also, we also see a very promising growth in categories such as the telecommunication services and tourism. And also, we would like to talk about the investment on the fixed assets. And in the first 7 months, and also we are seeing 0.5% increase for the investment on the fixed assets, excluding the peasant household. And also excluding the real estate investment on fixed assets grew by 5.2%. And also for the investment in the manufacturing increased by 5%, and the real estate investment has been down by 5%. For the sales of the newly built commercial residential buildings has been down by 4.1%. And for the sales of the newly built commercial residential buildings has been down by 5.7% compared to last year. So for the investment in different industries, we are seeing that we have increase in the primary industry and the secondary industry, and we have a 2% down in the tertiary industry. Deducting the real estate investment, we are seeing a 3% increase for the private investments. And also for the investment in the manufacturing of the aircraft, the spacecraft, and equipment also registered positive growth. Next, the trade volume continued to grow, and also we have optimized the trade structure, and the total trade volume registered 3.8 trillion yuan, up by 3.5%, and the export is over 3 trillion, up by 4%. For the import is over 5 trillion yuan and increased by 5.7%. And altogether, for the first 7 months, we have registered a 5% increase as for the trade volume. And also for the import has been increased by 6.9%, and the import has been down by 1.2%. For the first 8 months, the general trade volume increased by 2.2%, accounting for 63% of the total trade volume, contributing 5.4% to the trade volume for the Belt and Road countries. The trade volume of the private enterprises also grew by 7.4%. For the export of the mechanical goods is 9.2%. And the employment situation remains steady, and also we continue to see the increase of the survey jobless rate. The average survey jobless rate is 5.2%. In August, the urban survey jobless rate has been increased slightly compared to the previous months. So for the survey jobless rate for the local registered labor forces is 5.4%. And the survey jobless rate for the migrant registered labor force is 5.1%, and the survey jobless rate for the migrant rural registered labor forces is 4.7%. Compared to the last month, So in general, the jobless survey rate has been down by 0.1%. And we continue to see the CPI continue to increase and narrow the gap between the PPI and the purchase price. By categories, for the food and alcohol, down by 2.5%, the clothing down by 1.8%, the accommodation down by 2.1%, the daily necessities and services down by 0.8%, the transportation accommodation down by 2.4%. For the medical service and healthcare, increased by 0.9%. For the other products and services, the price has been increased by 0.8%. Among food and alcohol, for the pork down by 1.8%, vegetables down up by 2%, and the fruits down by 0.5%. Deducting the food and energy prices, the core CPI has been increased by 0.9%, and the increase has been larger compared to last month, and the PPI has been down by 0.1%. And in August, we could see for this decrease has been narrow compared to the last month, and for the purchase price has been down by 0.4% year over year. In the first 8 months, the PPI and the purchase price has been decreased by 2.9% and 3.3% respectively. In general, we could see that we have a stable performance in August, and also we have a good transformation, and also we gain a lot of progress for the new development achievements. But still, we are facing a lot of challenges. And going next, we will continue to be guided by the Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for the new era, and also stick to the general principle of pursuing progress while ensuring stability. We will speed up our efforts to build a new development paradigm, and we have to make sure that we will stabilize the employment enterprises market expectation, and to make sure that we can continue to have a healthy development of our national economy. Thank you very much. Now the floor is open for questions. Thank you very much. So this year, we could see we still have a very strong momentum and also the resilience of the performance. So can you tell us more highlights about the economic performance in August? Thank you. In August, under the strong leadership of CPC Central Committee and the State Council, all localities have been implementing the decisions made by the CPC Central Committee and the State Council. For all the localities, they have exercised all of these instructions and actions. We are seeing that we are accelerating the building of the national unified mega markets. Now we can see we have a very stable growth of the production, especially for the grain production. For example, we could see we have a very stable production of the husbandry, and also as for the industry production, we can see that for the industry added value above the designated size registered 5.2%. Especially I want to highlight the manufacturing sector has registered 5.7% increase, which is faster than the industry added value above designated size. And also we are seeing that for several indicators also have a good momentum. And also we are seeing that for the catering sector and the accommodation sector, they also have a very good momentum. And we continue to expand our domestic consumption. So for the retail sales, you can see we have a very promising number. And also we are seeing a lot of the potential for the policy of the trading of the consumer goods. And also we are seeing for some of the service sectors, for example, the culture and tourism, the telecommunication service sectors, we are seeing the retail sales for the service has registered a 5.1% increase, which is very encouraging. As for the investment, you can see for the investment in the manufacturing has been increased by 5.1%, which is higher than the number of the average investment on the fixed assets. And also, we have a very good performance of the trade volume. And right now, you can see we have a lot of uncertainties in the international market. And we still have a strong resilience of China's trade volume. The total trade volume has been increased by 5.3% in August. As for the export and import for 3 consecutive months, we have registered positive growth. Especially, I want to emphasize the export of the mechanical goods, which has registered 9.2% increase year over year. And also, we have a very encouraging foreign reserve. And also, the national economic performance maintained stable. If we look at all of these key indicators, for all the major key indicators has maintained stable. For example, for the industry added value and also for example, the national index of the service production, market sales, and trade volume, etc. All of these key indicators maintain a very positive outlook compared to the previous months. And also the jobless rate, even though it is a little bit lower than previous year because of the graduation season, and also if we talk about the survey jobless rate in general, it is quite stable compared to the previous months. So we would say the employment situation is stable. And also for the CPI, we have registered a 0.4% decrease. This is because of the food and alcohol. And if we deduct this factor, we can still see that the core CPI still maintain a positive growth. So we have a relatively stable price. And also we continue our way of the transformation. For example, we have the AI empowerment, and for several industries, they have a very good development. For example, for the manufacturing sector, in certain industries, you can see we still have a very good production and increase, especially for the circuit production areas. We can see we have a 5% increase. And also we have very fast increase for the high-tech industry. So in August, you could see for the high-tech industry of manufacturing, we have very fast growth, which is faster than the industry added value above designated size. And also for some of the production index, for example, for the commodity sales and the revenue for different sectors, we can see we all register positive growth. And also we have a very good performance of the sales of the NEVs. And also we have can see a lot of the diversity of our trade. For example, we have contributed a great number for the Belt and Road countries. In general, we continue to stride our way to promote the national economic development in August. But still, we have a lot of uncertainties. We are also facing a lot of challenge in China. For example, the demand contraction, the supply shock, and the weakening expectation. But in the future, we will continue to take a proactive micro policy and to make sure that we can try our best to promote domestic and international circulation and form a very healthy development for the economy in China. Thank you. Next question, please. With CMG, we see that this year we have done a lot of work to boost the consumption and try our best to build the national unified market. So can you tell us about the effect of all of these mentioned policies? Thank you. Well, I believe that all of you have attached great importance for the effect of the policy this year in facing of all of this complicated situation at home and abroad. For different departments have exercised the decisions made by CPC Central Committee and the State Council. We have to make sure that we take proactive actions in exercising the micro policy. We have to have a far-seeing side to make sure that we have a stable development of the economy. If we look at all of these policies, we can see all these policies have served to promote a positive development of the economy in August. We continue to see that we work relentlessly to improve the domestic consumption. For example, we have done a lot of work to promote the policy of the trading of the consumer goods, and also for promoting the sales of the retail sales of the consumer goods. We can see for some of the certain products, we have registered very good growth. For example, for the telecommunications, the furnitures, and office supplies, etc. And also, we are trying our best to promote the development in certain sectors. With the upgrading policies, we are seeing that for some of the mechanical products, they also register positive sales. And also, we have the machine beds and some of the upgrading products. They also register more than 10% of the increase. And also, we are focusing on the manufacturing and also the output of the production of the batteries to support the development of the vehicles and automobiles in China. And right now, we are seeing that our market is getting bigger, and we continue to promote the circulation of the production factors. And also, we are seeing that we have a very good performance in the railway transport, the air transport, and also the postal services. And now we can see that we have some of the change of the pricing. For example, for the PPI has made a progress compared to the previous months. And also in the mining industry, we can see the price also increased by 2.8%. And also we are seeing we have a strong growth driver. We are continuing efforts to promote the new productive forces. For example, for the manufacturing sector in producing the circuit, you can see we registered 2%. And also we focus a lot on the AI+. So now you can see we are entering into the digital era. In August, now you can see we have sell a lot of products. For example, the industry robots, the NEVs, and the 3D printing devices. All of these also have a very positive growth. And also we have very good trading of the stock. All of these will be conducive to promote the national economic performance. Next question, please. With cover news. Now you can see in August, I can see we have a decrease of the CPI, but still for the core CPI still maintain a positive growth. Can you tell us more about this? Thank you for your question. So if we look at the situation in August, because of some of the base of the last year, we can see that for the CPI have a slight decrease compared to the previous months. Or we would say, if we compare to the last month, we have slightly increased by 0.4%. And for the non-food products, has been increased by 0.1%. And I would like to emphasize the vegetables and the fruits. For these two categories has been registered positive growth. For the vegetables and pork has been increased by 0.9% and 2.8%. And this will also have an impact on the CPI figure. if we look at the non-food products, for example, the transportation and communications has been down by 3.9%, and also for the daily necessities and services, and also the education, culture, and entertainment also have a decrease. And if you mentioned that the CPI, if we compare to the same period compared to the last year, and we have a decrease, this is because last year, because of the flooding and some of the seasonal reasons, last year we have a very high CPI. So because of the base changes, this will also have an impact of this year's CPI. And this year, the food CPI in August has been down by 4%. And we can see this trend has been down compared to previous months. And for example, the pork have a significant decrease because of the change of the price of the food, and this will have some influence of the CPI. But if we deduct all of these factors, the core CPI actually increased compared to the previous months. And also we register a positive increase for 4 consecutive months for the core CPI. And here I would like to mention about the PPI and the purchase price. And this also have some of the impact on the CPI. For example, for the industry consumers, consumer goods, this will also have some of the impact of the PPI. And also we are seeing some of the improve of the structures inside of the industry sector. So we can see for the PPI, if we look at the figure compared to last month, we also have an increase compared to the last month. And also in certain categories, we still have a good increase. So for this, like industry factors may have some impact on the CPI. And also we are seeing that we have a good price for the service sector. We have rolled out a number of measures. We are seeing that we have a lot of consumptions happening in the catering and also the tourism and the cultural sector. So in August, this price has been increased compared to last month. And this will also have an impact for the CPI. So in general, the price for the service sector has increased, is higher compared to last month. And also we are seeing that for the rental of the transportation means, and also the daily necessities and services also registered 2.9% and 2.1% increase respectively. But in general, the CPI is still at a low point. We will continue to expand the domestic consumption and to expand our investment to try our best to build a unified national mega market and standardize the industry development to make sure that we can increase the CPI in the future. Next question, please. Thank you. With Xinhua News Agency, according to your data, you talk about some of the employment situation. Can you tell us more about the employment situation in China? Well, employment is the key for the livelihood. Concerning tens of thousands of households, the CPC Central Committee and the State Council attach great importance for the employment, especially for the high-quality employment. We have rolled out a lot of policies to boost this sector. We also expand different channels to attract talents. So in August, I would say in general, the employment situation remains stable. First, for the urban survey jobless rate remains steady. So actually each year in this graduation season, for different cities, we can see we have a slight increase of the urban survey jobless rate. But after these freshmen, these graduates find a job, and then the survey jobless rate will be decreased. And in August, the survey jobless rate is 5.3%. This is because we now at the graduation season. If we compare this figure compared to the last year, actually it is the same, meaning that the employment situation is stable. And also we are seeing that for the major labor forces, employment rate is also stable. For example, we talk about the survey jobless rate for the migrant registered labor force, the local registered labor force. If we compare to last year, actually this figure is somewhat similar. And for the survey jobless rate for the migrant rural registered labor force is 4.7%. This is actually lower than the average survey jobless rate. So if we look at the current situation facing with challenges and the pressure in different sectors, we believe that with all of these proactive policies, we will continue to maintain the stability of the employment. In the future, we will continue to proactively add on the micro policies, and also we need to boost the domestic consumption, but still we face a lot of challenges for the employment. We have to do our work to stabilize the employment, the expectation, and we have to make sure that we can create enough jobs and to improve people's livelihood and also to make contribution for the national economic performance. Next question, please. With CNBC, I have two questions. The first one is about the CPI. You just released the core CPI. If we compare to 2024, we can see this core CPI has reached a high point. And can you have some comment on that? And second, now we can see we have some of that, for example, the big moves about the purchasing of the houses. I would like to know more about the real estate situation. Can you tell us some of the prospects in the future in the development of the real estate? Thank you for your question. You talk about two things. The first about the change of the CPI, and the second question is regarding the real estate. You talk about the change point of the price or the CPI. So actually, it's very hard to define the economic performance by looking at only one figure, because the economic performance is affected by several reasons. So we have to take a comprehensive evaluation of different indicators, because for the economic indicators will be affected by different indicators, and the fluctuations will be reflected in the long term. As you mentioned about the CPI, I would say we have to take longer time to analyze the situation of the CPI. And this year, the CPI is relatively at a low level. And with our efforts, actually, we still see a lot of positive changes. So in the core CPI in August actually increased by 0.9%, actually increased compared to the last month, and also mentioned that for this core CPI has been increased for 4 consecutive months. And there are a lot of factors affecting the core CPI. For example, we have to consider the consumption needs. For example, in the future, when the weather gets colder, maybe people have more needs for the consumer goods, for the food. And after we enter into the festivals, holidays, and also this will also help to increase the CPI. And also we have to consider the seasonal reasons. For example, in different seasons, we have different clothes, and this will also have an impact on the CPI. And now we're entering into a new school season, and also this will also have some impact on the education, the culture and entertainment, etc. And also, we have rolled out a lot of policies. We are seeing that all of these policies also have some impact on the prices for different categories. And of course, we can see the supply and the demand is relatively balanced in China. And for some of the export, and this may also have an impact on the CPI. So you asked a question about the trend and the change of the CPI. I would say we will continue to observe this indicator. And you talk about the situation about the real estate. And this year, you can see for different cities and local governments, they have rolled out different policies to help us to restore the real estate sector. So for the first 8 months, even though this real estate sector has been fluctuating because of the change at home and abroad, but still we are seeing a very positive development for the sales area of the newly built commercial residential building. But still we are seeing that for the real estate sector is continue to recover. And also for some of the policies we can see, we help to achieve some of the transactions of the newly built commercial residential buildings. So this year now you can see for different governments in different cities, they also roll out policies to help to release some of the preferential policies. And this year we can see the sales areas of the newly built commercial residential building has been down by 3% and 2.8% decrease compared to the total figure last year. And also the sales even though have a 3% decrease, but this trend is much better compared to last year. So for the first tier and the second tier cities, we can see the sales area of the commercial residential building has been increased. And also the sales per unit has been recovered gradually. So for the first tier, second tier, and third tier cities, we could see that for the housing price has been recovered gradually. For the second tier and the third tier cities, we can see the price has been increased slightly compared to the last year. And also we are trying to promote the sales of these commercial residential buildings. And also we have made a lot of investment in the real estate development. And this figure is down by 8%, but still much better than the same figure compared to last year. If we look at the stock of the real estate, the areas to be released also have a positive recovery. But still, we have to face the fact that the sales number of the commercial residential building has been decreased. We still have to take more actions to boost the recovery of the real estate sector. So we have to follow the instructions of the CPT Central Committee and the State Council, and we need to roll out more preferential policies and to help to provide more healthy environment for achieving the transaction of the commercial residential building. Thank you. Next question, please. With 21st century paper. So my question is about the PPI. Now you can see we have some positive growth of the PPI. Can you tell us more about the trend of the change of the PPI? Thank you for your question. So now with the impact of the micro policy, and also we are accelerating to build a unified national market, and also we are driving the new growth drivers. So for the PPI, you can see if we compare to the last month, we have a positive growth. So in August, the PPI has been down by 2.9%, much better compared to the last month. So in August, now we see a positive trend for the PPI because we have a more organized market order. And also, we can see for the government, they also roll out a lot of policies to maintain the steady growth of this sector. In August, for example, for the minings and the PPI has been shrunk by 3% compared to the last month. And also for the PV and the unit production and also the manufacturing of the NEV, all of these price has been decreased compared to previous months. So all of these sectors has contribute positive factors. And also we have some of the new demands. So now you're seeing that we have been optimized the manufacturing structure in China. Now you can see for several areas, we are seeing that for certain sectors, we have seen a positive increase of the price, the CPI. And also we have a faster growth of the AI development, and people are very attractive to the AI-related products. In August, for the wearable AI products, we can see the price is up by 0.6%. And also we are seeing a positive effect of our consumption efforts. For example, we have very good policy of the trading of the consumer goods. And this will also help us to boost the consumption of the upgrading products. For example, in August, for some of the art products, the sports and recreational supplies also increased by 3% and 4.7%. And also for some of the specialized supplies, they also have an increase of 3%. And also for some of the food categories, we also see increase. But still, the PPI is in a downward trend. And this will pose a negative impact for the total development. But still, we have to work hard to unify the market to make sure that we can have a good recovery of the PPI. Next question, please. The paper. My question is about the consumption sales. So can you tell us more about the effect of the policy in boosting the consumption? I believe all of you have paid a lot of attention of the consumption. And this year, all the localities has been exercised the decisions made by CPC Central Committee and the State Council. And also we are rolling out a lot of policies to boost the consumption. We have also rolled out a combination of policies to optimize the consumption. So for the first 8 months, the retail sales of the consumer goods has been up by 4%. We can see that we still have a very optimistic trend. I would like to emphasize some of the highlights. For example, for the commodity sales, we have a very good sales, especially under the effect of the policy of the trading of consumer goods. So in August, the commodity sales has been increased by 3.6%. And in August, for the retail sales above destiny size, especially for the daily necessities, sports and recreational sales, and also the telecommunication supplies have a very fast growth, higher than the average increase of the market sales. And with the improvement of the livelihood, we can see many people are paying attention to the upgrading products. So, for example, in August, we are seeing that for the sports and the recreational supplies and jewelries has increased by 16.9% and 16.8% respectively. And also in summer vacations, we are seeing a lot of people choose to travel, and this will also see that we have increased a lot of consumption in the sector of the culture and tourism. And this increase rate also higher than the commodity sales. We have provided premium services, and also this will also help to boost the market sales. For example, in terms of the service sectors in the information transmission, software and IT services, financial industry, rental and the commercial services also register double-digit growth. And also we have a very encouraging boxing ticketing market. And with the integration of the digital development, we can see that we have a very good performance of the online sales. So for the online sales of physical goods in August also register a very high growth. And this figure is much faster than the same period of last year. And also we have a very good sales in the emerging markets. All of these will become the new potential for us. For example, we have continued to increase the sales of the new energy vehicles, and the increase of the sales is above 20%. So in general, with all of the policies, I would say for the market sales remain steady, and also we have very huge potential to promoting the retail sales of the consumer goods. And the trend is growing positive. And also we are expecting that for the internal growth drivers for the consumption will continue to be released. We will continue to take a number of actions to stabilize the employment and also to unleash the potential for the consumption so as to stabilize the market sales. Next question, please. With Reuters. My question is, if you look at the numbers in July and August, and can you tell us about your take on the trend for the third quarter? And also, we have rolled out a lot of policies. Still, can you tell us more about the CPI? Thank you for your question. If we look at the figure in July and August, for some of the micro policies, they are taking a very positive effect. For example, we have a very good improvement in the industry production, the service sector, etc. And also we have a stable CPI. And also we continue to speed up our efforts to promote the new productive forces. If you look at the production side, we can see a fast growth of the industry production and also the service industry. So as I just mentioned that for the industry added value above designated size, it registered like 5.2%. This is the figure for August, and in July, that is 5.2%. And also for the national index of the service production in August is 5.8%. And this figure is faster than the industry production index. So you can see for the market sales, so for the retail sales of consumer goods, in August, this figure increased by 3.4%. In July, this figure increased by 3.5%. And also we can see for the online sales of consumer goods also grow faster than the average range of the retail sales of the consumer goods. And also we have a very positive trade volume. And if we look at the employment rates, and also we just talk about the survey jobless rates, you can see that this figure also remains stable in general. And also for people who age from 30 years old to 59 years old, and the employment rate is also stable. If we look at the CPI, the core CPI has been increased by 0.9% in August, and this figure is 0.8% in July. So if we look at all these figures, we can see that we still have very positive new productive forces, and also we have very high increase of the high-tech industry, the high-tech manufacturing industry. And also, we have a very positive output of the industrial robots and also the NEVs. And also, we are trying our best to accelerate the manufacturing of the smart products and intelligent products. And we continue to open up. And also, we have made a lot of contribution for the trade volume of the Belt and Road countries. And we have made a lot of investment for the private enterprises. In general, with the support of the micro policies, we believe that the Q3 performance will continue to pursue progress while ensure stability. As you talk about the issue about the CPI, so right now different departments have also come up a package of policies, and we are seeing a good momentum for maintaining a stable CPI. So, for example, the mining, the PVs, the NEVs, the purchase price has also recovered. And also, we also see a minor impact on the PPI. All of these will contribute to the CPI. Thank you. Next question, please. Thank you. With First Finance, for the first 8 months, now you can see the investment in the private sectors. We still have a weakening trend. Can you tell us more about the trend for the investment in the private sector? Thank you for your question. For the private investment, this is a key part for the investment on fixed asset in China. And this year, affecting by the international society environments, and this year we can see we have a slowdown in the private investment. However, if we're deducting the investment in the real estate, we still see a stable trend for the private investment. We will continue to roll out a number of policies to boost the private investment. We will continue to optimize the business environment, and we believe we have more room to support the private investment. For the first 8 months, we have several features for the private investment. So first, we can see we have a steady investment for the projects. In the private investment, we have a huge investment contributed to the real estate sector. However, if we deducting the real estate investment, we can see that the private investment will remain stable. But if we added the factor of the real estate, and then we can see that the private investment is actually decreasing. So we have to take a comprehensive review of this situation. And also, I would like to say we have very good investment for the manufacturing industry. And also, we have an upgrading of our economy in China. And all of these will help us to boost the private investment and increase its portion in the total investment on fixed assets. For example, I just mentioned that for the investment on the fixed assets in total, excluding the passenger household, has been increased by 1.7% year over year. Among different categories, actually, for some of the key sectors, the investment has registered double-digit growth. For example, for the investment in the manufacturing of aircraft, spacecraft, equipment, information service, still have a very positive growth. As I just mentioned, that for the private investment has played a key role in the total investment on fixed assets. That's why we have to pay a lot of attention to boost the development of the private enterprises. So we have to pay attention to these enterprises and give them more preferential measures. So for the investment in the information service, actually in the first 8 months, we can see we have a 32.8% increase. We continue to enlarge our room for the investment. So with the policies took in effect, and we can see we have optimized the investment structures of the private sectors. And we have more room for the investment. For the first 8 months, the investment in the infrastructure has been increased by 4.8% year over year. And also, we have a lot of private investments in heat, gas, electricity, and some of the daily necessities. And these also have a good increase. And also, for the first 8 months, we can see that we also have a very positive increase in terms of the investment in the tourism and the culture. Even though right now, for some of the private enterprises, face a lot of challenges at home and abroad, but in general, we would say that China's economy have a very good potential and very, very bright prospects. So we still have confidence for the private investment in the future. And for the private investment is the key pillar to boost the high quality development. As China continue to promote the high quality development, I would say we will continue to focus on the development of the green industry, the PVs, the NEVs, as well as the AI products. And this will also help to enlarge the private investments. And also, we have a very strong resilience in this sector. We believe that in the future, we will have an encouraging figure for this sector. And this year, in facing with the external challenges, some of the private enterprises, they have taken flexible measures and policies and to demonstrate that they have the capability to make the investments. And in the future, we will have more steady progress in the private investments. And for different local governments, they also roll out the policies to boost the private investment, and also we give preferential policies for the market assets for the private enterprises. And this will also give the encouragement for the private investments. One last question, please. Thank you. With daily news. And this year, for the first 8 months, we talk about the economic performance. Do you have any predictions for the rest of the year? Thank you. So this year, though we are facing a lot of challenges at home and abroad, and also we are seeing a lot of complexity in the external markets. So we do have some of the challenges domestically, but still we are continuing our efforts to build the national unified market. So in China, we have actually withstand the test. So for the first 8 months, I would say the key indicators are stable. We are continue to promote the high quality development. And in the future, I would say in short term, we still have a very good policies. We continue to deepen the reform and continue efforts for the opening up. All of these will support the development of the economy. First, we will continue to release our consumption potential. You can see we have recovered the market sales, and also we have a good effect of the trading of the consumer goods. And also we have some of the emerging ways to sell the products. And also we have a lot of increase for the consumption in terms of the service industry. So going next, we believe that in the future we will take more efforts to boost the consumption, and will continue to strengthen the implementation of the policy of the trading of the consumer goods. All of these will help to boost the consumption, and we are approaching the national holidays and the Mid-Autumn Day. All of these will help us to improve the market consumption and the sales. And also right now we have very strong growth drivers. For example, we have a lot of innovations in the science tech areas and the AI areas, and we are continue to seeing a lot of the growth drivers. So in the first 8 months, actually you can see for the added value for the high-tech industry, we are seeing very positive result. So especially in the manufacturing industry, the added value of the equipment manufacturing, all of these are quite encouraging. And also we are seeing that for some of the printing devices, the industry robots, and also especially for the NEVs, it has been registered 30% increase. And also we are focusing a lot of the green development. So all of these will help us to boost the consumption. And we will continue to unleash the potential of the green industry, and also we try to find new growth drivers. And we are seeing that we have a very good vitality of the market in China. And we have to make sure that we will continue to accelerate the building of the national unified mega market, and also to reinforce the domestic and international circulation. So now you can see for some of the sectors, they do have a very good positive increase. And also for the expectation of the business activities, you can see all of these figures are in a good range. And we will continue to deepen the reform, and also we will standardize the competition and also the market rules. And also we will continue to build the free trade zone. That we believe all of these will help us to strengthen our efforts. And also we can see that we have a lot of the micro policies put in place. And all of these policies can help us to improve the economic development. So for example, I just mentioned for the sales of the trading of the consumer goods, and this has also increased a lot compared to the previous months. In the future, we will roll out more fiscal and also the monetary policies, and all of these policies will do good to the national economic performance and also provide support the economic development. Although we are facing a lot of challenges at home and abroad, but still China has a strong resilience. And we believe we have a lot of indicators to support the development of the national economy. And I just mentioned that we have the market policies, and also I believe that we will continue to pursue progress while ensure stability. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for the speakers. See you next time.